Hello, making a video. Today we want to take a look at the newly released MEweedle with the move a double Iron Bash in the Fantasy Cup. Now we're in the Ultra League with this Pokemon. We already showcased it for the Open Great League. For the Open Great League, it was not really the best move ever, but for this one here, it might be a little bit better, and I can tell you it is a little bit better. This is definitely the preferred move for this meta here right now, and as you can see here, my opponent also got already even the outfit on for Professor Willow here. But we will be able to go for one superpower, doing some nice damage here, going to shield him the next move and hopefully realign. But this Pokemon is very good here as my opponent runs double Iron Bash and Rock Slide. Why the hell? But yeah, which I didn't know before when I did my first video is you can actually, if you have the ticket, evolve your Melmetal and you're going to be able to receive double Iron Bash on that way as well. So I didn't even have to power up my horrible IV one there. I could have just went for one that I still had in store. Very great for me that I then powered up and wasted my starters on one that has horrific IVs, but good job there, me. We will be able to at least still go ahead here and take a look at this one now with good IVs in the Open Ultra League. Finally build a better one for this meta here as well, as it's going to be a meta where this Pokemon actually can shine. It's going to be a very good Pokemon to use in the Fantasy Cup with this team here. Of course, we're going to have the XL version of Registeel, which is going to be the best Pokemon in this meta. Like, not gonna lie, it's going to carry me quite a bit. But other than this team is a lot of fun. We're going to have the Dragonite in the lead, which is a little bit spicy. I haven't really seen a lot of them against me yet. For this one here, for example, if you face a Giratina, you stay in for 5 fast moves of the opponent and then catch the charge move as we face off against the Lucario. I thought this might be a close combat. They kind of baited me here. They're gonna go for the power punch though, so I shielded the wrong move. If I didn't shield, it would have been way better for me, but I can still go for one superpower and I can still reach another one to at least try to get another shield advantage here against the opponent. I will be able to do that as I can actually hit another superpower against them here, which will be very decent for me. How did it go with this team? I went 9-3, I think. I did 12 games here as we face off against the opponent's Togekiss, which is going to be a tricky one to deal with. But I cut out one battle where, yeah, basically I started around 10 seconds later than my opponent, where my opponent hit Smackdown Celestina in the lead and farmed down my Dragonite basically to red health already, and yeah, I actually nearly got this win still even against this opponent, even though like I went so late into the match, but still couldn't able to win this. But it's kind of awkward to like showcase a battle where it starts 20 seconds later, where I wasn't even expecting that it would even start because it was stuck in the loading screen. Otherwise, if I sound a little bit weird in my recent videos as well, I think it's just hay fever or whatever. My nose is completely blocked for most of my videos recently, which is really awkward to commentate, but hey, what can I do, what can I do? We see the Togekiss against us here, which is going to be an awkward one to deal with. We will be able to go for one Zapcan, knocking them out, and we will see the Giratina coming in, which we can lock on down with our Registeel. Registeel, for sure, the best Pokemon in this meta right now. Very, very strong Pokemon against everything. There's nothing that really hardwalls them. Even like something that hardwalls them offensively and still cannot take the charge moves defensively. So this Pokemon is just insane in this current meta as we face off against the Tapu Fini. Here, for example, double Iron Bash, definitely the move to go, as we will be able to do some pretty nice neutral damage against the opponent here. In general, very cool to have this charge move here, because this meta right now is Steel types, where you have the superpower for, and you have the Dragon types as well as the Fairy types, where you have the double Iron Bash for. So here, this move is definitely the way to go, as we will be able to go for another charge move against the opponent's Tapu Fini here, and we will be able to knock them out, as we will be able to realign our Pokemon. We have the same shields as the opponent there, and we will be able to go for another charge move here as well, as we sadly see P-tie here. So sadly my opponent got an extra fast move through here, but it's still going to be fine. We can go for one double Iron Bash, doing a little bit of damage here, which is not really doing too much, but we will be able to go ahead and let this Earthquake go through against our Registeel. We should hopefully be fine going for one Focus Blast here as well, as this one should knock them out, and it does knock them out. Never mind, Registeel is just not doing enough damage against the Steelix. Steelix is a very bulky Pokemon. We have to shield this move here. It's going to be the Earthquake, and we see the opponent's Registeel coming in. This might still be an awkward position here for us to win this game. Let's take a look what we can do here. We're going to catch the move perfectly onto our Dragonite to seal that deal, as we will be able to go ahead and get to the superpower in time. Would knock them out. My opponent knows that, and going to forfeit here, which is amazing for us. Next opponent, Escavalier, the Pokemon that I don't want to face with this team at all, but we're going to face a Tapu Fini coming in, which we will be able to hit with some Zap Cannons, which are going to be very nice for us, as we're going to get out the Fairy type already. We should have, I should have went straight for the Zap Cannon anyway. We're going to go for it now. We're going to get the debuff, which is amazing for us. This is going to make this matchup way better for us, as they go ahead and go for another charge move here. Service coming through, we can go for another Zapkin here, farming up to 100 energy as well, trying to get some energy out of this matchup, but they're actually going to go ahead and go for the swap into the Escavalier. It's going to be an awkward one now, because my Dragonite is definitely going to get matched up against the opponent's Tapu Fini, so I'm going to let them farm me down a little bit closer to the red health, so they don't get as much harm with the Tapu Fini. I will be able to farm down the Escavalier, and we're still going to be able to hit one superpower against the Tapu Fini coming in now. But we will not be able to swap out in time here, and we're going to go ahead and just go for a superpower here, trying to hopefully win this matchup now with our Melmetal. We see the Registeel coming in from the opponent, which basically tells me already we should most likely win this game here pretty easily. We will be able to go for one superpower against them. We're going to go for another one here, because they're most likely going to debuff us with the Zap Cannon here. And what we can do now is we can just shield up the charge move here, which is going to be the Zap Cannon. We are now triple debuffed in our attack. We can go for another superpower here as well. And this one will do some decent damage as well, not knocking them out, but we're going to let this move go through here actually. Yes, our Registeel is super low and already in the red health, but it's enough to shield up the Surf here, knock them out with one Zap Cannon. And we have more HP than the opponent's Registeel, which will allow us to lock on them down here at the end. So that's going to be a very easy game here, good game to my opponent. Next opponent coming in, we're going to see an Escavalier in the lead again here. Will be a little bit of an awkward one, as we see a Melmetal coming in. I should have swapped out earlier, not gonna lie. Thought they would have double Iron Bash, but they have Rock Slide. So yeah, this was definitely a misplay here by me, and I definitely should have swapped out earlier, because the Dragonite is my best Escavalier answer, but we're at least going to be able to basically catch a Rock Slide here onto our own Melmetal, which will allow me to go for a superpower of my own, but they're gonna go for their own instead first, and we will be able to shield this one up, knock them out hopefully with our own superpower here. But it's going to be an awkward one, because the Escavalier now are going to be able to have a very great time against us here. We can still go at least for one charge move here, which will do some damage, but we're not going to put them into really a range where they most likely going to shield this one, so that's going to go through as well. Not doing any damage, I have to try to get to a charge move here, so I'm going to shield up the charge move from the opponent, going to be a Mega Horn. They're going to swap out into an Empoleon. This might still give me a chance of winning this game, but I don't think I will have a chance here. Let's take a look. We see the Hydro Cannon coming through. We're going to do some nice damage against me. I can go for one Zap Cannon against them now, and hopefully knock them out here, as they're going to actually not gonna get knocked out, which is maybe even better, as I can lock on them down. We see now the Escavalier coming back in. We can go for the debuffing move here. Let's see if we can actually still win this game. Zap Cannon coming through here, going to get no debuff, which is really annoying, but they're going to throw anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Drill Run coming through, and they sadly have one Drill Run stored as well. I needed to go for one more fast move against the Escavalier to store one of my Dragon Claws to win this game, so that was my mistake. I could have won this most likely. So that's really awkward. We see the Slurpuff against us here right now. Slurpuff is an awkward one to face with this team, because Slurpuff beats basically all Pokemon. Kinda. Like, it's not really the best matchup for the Slurpuff either, but like, it can kinda beat them all, because you have the moves Play Rough and Flamethrower, which will hit everything on my team for super effective damage, as we face off against a Registeel here, which will have to take some superpowers by me, which is going to be pretty decent for me, as they're going to take another one here, which does not knock them out yet, I think, but they're going to shield up anyway. Sadly, it was a Stampede. I would have loved to swap out here in time, but sadly, they don't allow me that. I will be able to go ahead and go for another charge move now, but they're going to swap into the Slurpuff. As the Slurpuff is still pretty healthy, I have to swap out here, because we're like triple debuffed already, and we can take two Flamethrowers here, at least with our Registeel, which is nice, but we can go for one Zapcan now and hopefully knock them out in time. But this is going to be a very tough one to come back from. They have the switch advantage, they have the shield advantage, they have a Registeel against my Registeel, but I actually should be able to swipe another Focus Blast, as we have the rank 1 for the Ultra League. This is going to not do too much damage here, as we can see the Giratina coming in, which is going to have to take now one of my Zap Cannons. We can swap out, we get the attack drop, which is amazing, as we will be able to go ahead and take now one Dragon Claw, and we would actually even able to take another Dragon Claw as well. As we go ahead, go for our own charge move, and they're going to let this move go through, which is awkward because they survive with exactly 1 HP, which is really bad for us, as now the opponent going to be able to maybe lock on us down, but no, they are not. We can go for another charge move. This is going to be a good game. There's nothing the opponent can do anymore, and we will be able to win this one here as well. Next opponent is going to be an interesting one. We see a Registeel in the lead, which is not the worst for us, as we can go for a superpower, of course. But I'm going to go straight for that actually, and I'm going to swap out then as well, I think. Actually, no, I'm going to stay in here. I'm going to shield this one up and then swap out. As we're going to face off now against... Oh, actually, I stay just in and go for the superpower. I guess that's also fine because we force the shield here. They have Flash Cannon, which is an interesting one because usually you don't really run Flash Cannon. I'm going to shield up this move because it's mostly going to be a Focus Blast. No, they don't even run Focus Blast for whatever reason. We see the Giratina coming in here, which is a strong Pokemon for this meta, the Giratina Origin. Going to go for the double Iron Bash, going to do some nice damage, and we will be able to survive another charge move here from the opponent. Shadow Ball coming through here. But the sad thing here is I will be able to go for one double Iron Bash, doing some nice damage, as we can go for another one here as well. They're going to have a Pokemon in the back that completely destroys the entire team, as you're going to see soon. They go for one charge move here, basically making them energy dry. We're going to see a Zacian in the back. A Zacian with Fire Fang, and as they have a shield advantage right now, there's not a lot that I can do about this here. I can try to go for some Zap Cannons, but they have of course access to the move Close Combat as well, which is going to hurt me, and you can see here already the Zacian going to most likely knock me out. I have to try to catch the next charge move as they go into their own Registeel, which forces me to let this move go through here as well. I could still try... Oh, that's actually... They're gonna go for the Flash Cannon, which is interesting. I can try to go for a double Iron Bash here. Should have overfarmed a little bit more. Even if it didn't work out, this was my best play to overfarm to 2 double Iron Bashes. I don't know why I didn't do this. If I did this, I most likely would have won this game as well if they didn't throw in time. But yeah, sadly, I was not able to, and this is going to be a good game. Losing to a Fire Fang Zacian is kind of wild. Next, a wild Pokemon, we're going to have a Solgaleo against us here, having access to Fire Spin, as well as Psychic Fangs, as well as the move Iron Head usually. Going to be interesting as we see an Escavalier coming in where we don't really have a good Safe Swap against, and that's very nice. We see that they can go for one Superpower, they go for one Charge move here. I'm going to actually let this move go through, which is going to be an Acid Spray, and I can keep my Charge move basically stored on my Dragonite, which is cool. They go for another charge move against my Registeel. It's going to be a Drill Run. No matter what, like Acid Spray or Drill Run, I would have let them both go through, as we can go for another charge move here. Zapcan gonna get shielded, and we will be able to just take this next charge move as well. I'm going to let this move go through. It's going to be the Acid Spray this time around, allowing us to go for still another charge move here. We have now a 2-shield advantage, but the opponent has definitely a Pokemon advantage here, as the Solgaleo can farm you all the way down. I go into my Melmetal, which will be able to go ahead and go for some superpowers, as they only have resisted charge moves, but we see the Registeel coming in from the opponent, allowing us to go for our own superpower here real quick, doing a ton of damage, going for another one here, doing more damage here as well. And we can swap out now into our own Dragonite soon, as we're going to try to overfarm a little bit. I think afterwards, Focus Blast coming through here, going to be shielded. I can overfarm a lot actually, and then swap into my Dragonite, going for the superpower, knocking them all the way out here. And hopefully going to be able to win this game. Solgaleo comes back in. Can Solgaleo take 2 superpowers from a Melmetal? We will find out soon. We're going to let this move go through. Psychic Fangs coming through here. And we can go for another superpower. This is going to do a lot of damage, actually way more than I thought it would. So it's easily going to be a 2-shot, and it's going to be a very good game there. Goodbye, opponent Solgaleo. Very nice for us. Next opponent coming in here, we're going to face off against the Giratina. That's going to be an interesting one, as well as we will be able to go ahead and swap perfectly into our Melmetal, catching the Dragon Claw from the opponent here. Will be able to give us a good advantage, as we can go for double Iron Bash now. And thanks to the extra damage we do with the Dragon Breath in the beginning, that's going to be actually a matchup that we should be able to win, because double Iron Bash going to now do enough damage to hopefully knock them out. Giratina is way bulkier, does more damage with the fast move, but I think double Iron Bash plus the Dragon Breath from the before should be enough here. As we can see now, the double Iron Bash coming through, going to do around 20% maybe. We can go for another one here. Let's see, do they shield this move up? They do not, but they have 1 HP left, so we're gonna go for another charge move here. Do they shield this move up? They do for whatever reason, because they're still gonna get KO'd through the shield. And we're gonna go down to this X control, but we're going to have a shield advantage now. We can go for one superpower to easily knock them out if we want to, and they're going to shield this move up here. We're going to see the opponent going for another charge move here as well. Let's see what it's going to do. It's going to get shielded as we can go for another charge move here. That's going to get basically caught here by the Steelix from the opponent, but this puts them into range for one focus burst of my own Registeel, also allowing me to get up extra energy now. Going to go for the overfarm, gonna go for the focus blast, going to knock them out, I thought, but I actually don't, which is even better because I get more energy now. This will allow me to farm them all the way down and get perfectly to the focus blast, going for the knockout now and winning this game. That's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Still am a little bit sick because of hay fever, I think, but like, it's totally fine. Should be still understandable, hopefully, but yeah. Going to see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.